Do we even want to talk about last night?
What a shit show. Yeah, I mean, dude. Oh, let me tell you. Okay, mine's gonna be short and sweet, right? Because that's just how I am. I'm always that way. So here's what last night reminded me of. This is all I could think about. You know how when you watch that fighter that goes in to fight and he had a game plan, and in the first round they shut the game plan down. Not even in the first round. Halfway through the first round, he realizes the game plan's not going to work, but he sticks to the game plan.
Tyron Woodley.
He just won't move off.
His last 3 fights.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah, if you want to name drop, but in all honesty,
exactly, Tyron
Woodley. That's what last night reminded me of. Last night reminded me of that person that was just stuck in the game plan.
Right.
I don't know how else to say it. I just don't. They didn't change up anything.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it too much, and not because of how our emotions tied to it being fans. I'm just tired of sounding like a broken record because the last 3 or 4 times we've talked about this, I've said the same thing.
It's the same issues. It's the same issues.
And I expect professionals to be professionals. And it just seems like the blatant and obvious to us either isn't blatant and obvious to them, or they think like, okay, yeah, we know it didn't work, but this time it's going to be different. Like, I don't know what the disconnect is. Like, either it's not obvious to them that's not working, or it is, and they just don't care, or they think they're trying to change it up, but they're not really changing it up. I can honestly say, and as painful as it is to say this and feel this way, and hopefully it was just an enigma, Ben Roethlisberger's probably not played as bad as he played in that game. And there was a Jacksonville game where he threw 6 interceptions. So, but I still think we scored like 40 points in that game. So I don't think Ben Roethlisberger's ever played a game as poorly as he did last night.
Bro, because that was what I'm saying. There was no creativity. Listen, their whole season has been what I said, that analogy that I used. Their whole season has been that way. They designed this team to play one way, and that's the only way they play. Dude, quit dipping your fucking head to the left. He keeps throwing a hook. Quit. Right. But they won't. They just keep dipping that fucking head. They just keep throwing them short passes. Listen, they were giving Ben shit for not throwing the ball. Dude, the dude hasn't thrown the ball more than 10 yards, 15 yards all season. Like, no. He's not even looking downfield. Just like
I said, our offensive scheme is the sole genesis of all of our problems. All of our problems stem from our offensive scheme. Now, having said that, you do expect certain people of a certain caliber to overcome that. You know what I mean? Like, you expect like that fighter, once he realizes his game plan doesn't work, maybe he has some knockout power he can rely on, and he just finds a way to get it done. But
this is Finkner. This is his first year, right?
No,
this is Randy Finkner's
second year with Ben, but it's his 3rd year with Pittsburgh. So Todd Haley left 2017. So he coached 2018. We went 8-8 or 9-6-1. Last year, he didn't really coach Ben because Ben was out for a season. So this is
sure. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. This is his first year with Ben, though, right?
Second.
Second year. Okay, second year with Ben.
And he was Ben's quarterback coach for multiple years, but it's his second year as an offensive coordinator with Ben Roethlisberger.
I can't blame anybody but coordinating. Mm-hmm. I can't, dude. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I just don't know. And I don't know. I'm a dumb fuck. But the coordinating on this team, at some point, like, and I went. There's got to be this reason that Ben didn't step up and just make a play call, make a play change. But he's so designed. It's like they made an agreement this year that they said, "Hey, we're going to play this way, and this is the only way we're going to play. We're not going to play any other way." Come on, they haven't showed any kind of creativity, no kind of. I don't want to be a dick, but maybe they just. I don't know. They haven't changed.
When you're punt, punt, fumble, punt, fumble, punt.
3 and outs. I can't take it anymore.
Not a single first down. And I should have said 3 and out. I should have said that. Once you're at that and not a single first down, and you're at negative 2 yards of offense into the second quarter, going into halftime, when you're at that point, that's like you're not even. That's not even offense. You're not even playing offense. You're not even playing football at that point. What the fuck are you?
It's literally like they don't. It's like they don't think that they can play. It's like they don't think they can play any other way. Like these guys. No, this is not what we practice. That's why I keep saying it's like they had a game plan. They won't change it. Like we didn't practice that. We didn't practice it, so it'll never work. Well, dude, you're forgetting that these guys aren't all rookies. Not everybody's a rookie.
We had that little bit of
and it's bullshit. Like
bit of a spark in the third quarter, and then the offense fizzled out again, and the defense was just too tired.
So, like, run me back to the thoughts on DJ right now with you, because you're the whole reason why I have any kind of justification for it. Believe it or not, you're the only reason why, because basically how, on the other podcast that we did, how you put it into terms was brilliantly said, to be honest with you. Like, basically how you said that the guys, all the weight was left on the receivers to do the work, and they're anticipating the catch to make the next yard. Right? They're not anticipating the catch, they're anticipating the next yard. So, like, how do you feel? Do you feel that how much of that goes into the issues with DJ not catching the ball, and how much do you think it's actually him? Like, I mean, do you think he's getting a fair assessment? Is basically what I'm asking, because I think a lot of people are shitting on him hard.
For sure.
And I think what you made sense.
I think you can sum up just about every problem with our offense to our offensive scheme. I think just about every problem, from the way the line blocks, to the way the running backs run, to the way the wide receivers run, to the way the ball is thrown, just about everything. Whenever you distill an entire offense down to 2 seconds, and that is obviously the plan, Collinsworth keeps talking about Ben Roethlisberger throwing the ball in 2.2 seconds or whatever. That is by design. That does not just happen by miracle. That is simply done by design. When you distill an offense down by 2 seconds, we're talking literally 2 fucking seconds. The entire offense is distilled down to 2 seconds. Over and over and over, week of practice, game. Everything is 2 seconds. Well, it's once you're at week 11, and this is when shit starts falling apart. 11 straight weeks, you've been built on 2 seconds of energy. Exactly. Everyone except for the person with the ball in their hands. Everyone is built on 2 seconds. So that means blocks are held for 2 seconds. That means routes are run for 2 seconds. All right? So
that means Ben's thoughts are for 2 seconds.
Ben does not read beyond 2 seconds.
Exactly.
So our receivers downfield don't get separation anymore. Well, if Chase runs a 10-yard route and Deontay Johnson runs a 2-yard slant, by the time the ball is out of Ben's hand, Chase didn't even get to his cut yet. He didn't even get to his cut. So what is the point? He doesn't even get to finish his route before either the ball was batted down, the ball was dropped, or the ball was caught and tackled. All of that happened, and Chase didn't even get to his 10-yard cut yet, because you're not running 10 yards in 2 seconds. So that our offensive line, when it comes to run blocking, everything is so repetitive and built in muscle memory. Their muscle memory is built on 2 seconds of blocking, and it's over. Now you want them to hold blocks and do stretch plays where they have to hold blocks for 5-10 seconds and pull and do all this crazy shit, which isn't crazy, which is normal football, but to them it's crazy shit. So our receivers don't run downfield anymore because 99% of the time the play is already over by the time they even made their first cut. Our offensive line doesn't hold blocks. Our running backs don't have to block in the backfield because the ball is already out of the field. And our quarterback does not make second, third, fourth, fifth progressions anymore because everything is done in 2 seconds. So,
okay.
Of course, he's going to have a hard time putting the ball downfield whenever for a full week of practice and for 4 quarters of football, everything's done in 2 seconds. Having said that, a player of his caliber, he should still be able to overcome it, and he should at times be able to overcome the system and find the open receivers. But it doesn't help when you're 11, now 14 weeks in, your entire offensive scheme is distilled down to 2 seconds of football.
Yeah, okay, so beautiful sense of painting the picture for us, because that makes it perfect to understand. It's not an exaggeration, it's actual, right? So Ben isn't thinking for more than 2 seconds, so when he's put on the thought and it's not working out, obviously mistakes are being made. But here's my next question to you, okay? I got another question for you. How much, let's say, lack of credit, I don't know how I want to put this, but you'll make sense of it. How hard are we being on the coaching staff and the offensive coordinating staff in week 14 to expect a change? I mean, that's far-fetched, right? In a sense of where you've never seen this before. I don't remember ever seeing a repetitive pattern every game, the same style, never coming out of it. Like, they've never even used different tactics to have the clutch wins that they've had, right? It was always just the same. So how far-fetched is it for us to think that they should change it up now when you just got done saying it's all designed and it's down to this 2-second scheme of offense and it's been built this way? There's a lot of moving parts to just come in and say, okay, we're changing it up, when all these moving parts are what made this scheme work in the beginning, right? They've had everything in perfect position for the scheme to work, but now people call onto the scheme and it's not working. How do we rebuild an offense, basically, at week 14, right before we go into the playoffs? Yeah. Does that even work? Is that even possible? That's my question to you. Is it even possible? There's a lot of moving parts, and us as fans, we could say it's easy, but let's talk about a rebuild of an offense in week 14, but that's exactly what needs to be done. Yeah. There's no other option.
For sure. So it is.
Do you think there's another option?
It is 100% possible. It doesn't help that we've seen the same thing for 4 weeks straight, because you got to go back to the Ravens game that somehow we won. We've seen the thing for a month straight now, and they haven't shown a willingness to change. So that doesn't help, because if anything, after the Baltimore game, and we had this talk like that, the Baltimore game was our loss. I remember we said that we had the taste of a loss, even though we managed to get the win. That should have been the turning point. Whereas for whatever reason, that was not the turning point at all. That was the plummeting point, and we've gone nothing but down since then. So
what do you think they do?
It seems like it's impossible at this point.
I think it is. I think it's far-fetched.
It might seem like it is, and maybe for the people that we have in place making these decisions, maybe for those people it is impossible. It is impossible, but just like the NFL was able to catch on 11 weeks late, it literally took the NFL 11 weeks late to figure out what we were doing. I damn sure believe that professional athletes of their caliber and talent-wise, we have the talent, they can figure something out that it took the league 11 weeks to figure us out. We should be able to figure out something for the next 2 weeks. Right?
Only because of how invested they are into this one scheme. It's such an investment, dude. It's like they talked about it in 2019 and said in 2020, this is going to be the game plan. This is what we're going to build our offense around.
Everyone knows.
And they thought that
everyone knows our run game's been shit, right? And in the second half, Benny Snell was actually able to get up to 84 yards. If I'm correct, our first 7 plays.
Shout out Cruz. Benny Snell runs with a blindfold. Anyways, keep going.
There were a
Keep
couple
going.
weeks.
In 7
there were
places.
a couple weeks, it definitely looked like that, except for last night. I want to say our first 7 plays were all passes, and we gained no yards. So all week long, and I love Coach Tomlin, and I still think he's the man for the job. All week long, he's preaching physicality, and we need to be the physical team, and we need to get better at the run game. And I understand Mike Tomlin doesn't call the plays. But after the first, not the second, after the first 3 and out, where there was 1 complete pass, 2 incompletes, and one of those incompletes should have been intercepted. After the first 3 and out, where you didn't gain a yard, didn't gain a first down. The next time they went out there on the field, our head coach should have went over to our offensive coordinator and said, "You're going to run the ball 3 damn times in a row. I don't care if we get stuffed on first down and second down, and it's 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11. You're going to go out there and run the ball 3 times, and we're going to run the ball until we get a yard and a first down. You want to preach physicality, you're going to do it. That might be high school tactics, and I understand this is the NFL. But 1, you clinch the playoffs, so what the fuck do you have to lose? If every week's going to be an experiment with the short yard pass, you might as well start experimenting with the Colts this week. So you go to your offensive coordinator and said, we just threw the ball 3 times, and we did the same shit we've done for a season now, and now it doesn't work anymore, and it could have been picked off. You're going to go out there and you're going to run the fucking ball until it works. Okay? So until you show me that we can't run the ball, we're going to run the ball. Because we know we can't throw the ball for 2 yards. We already know. We can go out there and keep trying. We can keep trying the spot passes and the slants, and we know it doesn't work. And
Batted the fuck down.
we know we've only got 50 yards a game in the last 5 weeks, but we've run the ball 7 times the last 5 weeks. So you're going to go out there and run the ball 3 times in a row, and then we'll see what happens. In the second half, we ran the ball.
But why isn't this?
And we scored points in the second half. In the first half, we didn't run the ball and we didn't score points. It's not that simple. I understand. But if Pittsburgh's going to lose, we're not going to lose because we're out there embarrassing ourselves not getting first downs. That's the shit. That's why I stopped watching. I'll watch you lose. The Buffalo Bills game, we could have lost that game 31-30. It would have been, it would have sucked. It would have sucked. But the fact that the way we lost that game, just out there doing nothing, punting, that's not a way to lose. You're not even trying at that point. That first and second quarter last night was absolutely abysmal. It was the worst I've ever seen the Steelers team look in my memory. So if we're gonna lose,
Dude, just
at least show some effort. So I do think
that first half, man.
I do think a change can be made, and I don't think it's going to be easy. I think a lot of people got to set their egos aside. They got to bite down on their mouthpiece, and they got to grab their balls and go out there and want it. They got to go out there and want it. It's sad to see our defense. Our defense doesn't care anymore because they're so.
Our defense is tired.
So, like literally beaten. I mean, with everyone being out,
They're tired and
you
battered,
can see it in
dude.
their eyes, and to see it in Cam Hayward and T.J. Watt, these are our dudes.
Mm-hmm.
To see them have like an apathetic look in their eye, like that's devastating, absolutely devastating.
It's devastating.
That last year, was this not every game last year, every game, and we go on this beautiful 11-game win streak, and our defense is like finally, like we have some complimentary football. And for them to have this taste in their mouth again, losing 3 straight because our offense.
But not even just losing the game because of our offense. Our offense is causing them to be beat the fuck up.
And tear ACLs and take concussions.
They're not off the field.
No.
They're not off the field. Last night, dude, they're not off the field. Like the offense is hurting them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Literally.
in reality. So, I mean, I don't know. I want to see a change. I thought for sure in the second half I was looking for that. You know what? Let's change it up. My God, this is professional
sports. They were able to run the ball in the second half, but it was too little, too late. So, like I said, I'm not an offensive coordinator. I'm not an expert, so I can't give you the solution as much as I want to. But I can sure tell you what the fucking problems are. and they're blatant and obvious. And if you can't see the problems, then I don't know what to tell you. You're an idiot.
It's so systematic.
Our scheme is just.
It's the most systematic scheme.
Complete trash.
It's the most.
It doesn't work.
But there's no improvising. There's no creativity. It's just such a systematic scheme. It's outrageous.
In the second quarter, whenever they did that jet sweep, like, oh my God, that was not the time. When we used the jet sweep earlier in the season,
loss of yards.
They did it right. They did it at the goal line. Like it was situational. They were like, that was such a like, oh, you want to see something different? Let's do something different. And yeah, it was
embarrassing.
It was embarrassing. Absolutely.
Everything about last night was embarrassing. Everything was embarrassing about it.
They don't need to go crazy. They
There was
don't need
nothing
to do anything crazy. They just need to be different, and they're not different. They're so predictable. The defense, they don't need to worry about stopping. Everything is in front of them. They literally have no worries behind them. If they cheat to the pass, it's a 2-yard slant. If they cheat to the run, they don't have to worry about anything getting them behind them because we don't run play action. So it's like the defense has the game made for them against this offense. Literally watch the tape of any defensive performance that's all they have to do. Because
it had taken people off guard by how fast they were releasing the ball, but this scheme is so easy to stop.
Dude, just think.
That's the problem. It's so easy to stop. It's so easy to see.
Before the last month, can you ever think of Ben Roethlisberger's ball getting knocked down 4 and 5 times a game? I've never seen this before.
No.
In 17 years of his career, I've never seen this. The last month, I've seen it 4 and 5 times a game. That doesn't
I know. Okay, think about it. What are we doing?
It's so awesome. They know they're not going to get the sack, so they just incomplete pass, batted it down, and then
how obvious is it? How not obvious is it that a guy like Patrick Mahomes making pocket plays and waiting? This is their scheme, but it's how do you stop the scheme of the Chiefs? Offense, passing. Mahomes make pocket plays, waits for separation for the receiver, hits the receiver.
Yeah.
Creates the pocket play for a long enough time to get separation from the receiver and guns it with his fucking arm. A lot harder to stop the guy making the pocket plays than it is the repetitive same bullshit. How many unorthodox plays have you seen Russell Wilson make? And all these other teams, all the time.
It's the same shit Ben
It's
Roethlisberger
broken. The
built
record
his career on. Literally built his career.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying we need him to be a replica of himself. He can have some evolution. We can keep him in the pocket a little more. We don't need him out there running around getting destroyed. I understand that. But there's a happy
that first down play. That's a first down play. Man, I could hear him now saying, "Man, the Pittsburgh Steelers are leading in third down conversions with that quick Ben Roethlisberger at the line getting the ball off in 2 seconds." Yeah, third down conversions, having that specialty under your belt, but not building your whole scheme around it.
Literally,
you know what I mean? Not building your whole scheme around one thing, everything. Yeah, it was. That's what I said. That's what I said to everybody. I said, "Listen, Ben. I will say this: Ben should have had a little bit more." Veteran knowledge. He should have had a little bit more sports IQ whenever he was making some of them decisions. I think personally,
decisions and
because he's been in the game.
Accuracy was bad.
I believe, but this year, the end result. I'm sorry. Whether it be winning the Super Bowl, whether it be winning the championship, who knows, right? Is all going to be a test to the coaching staff and the coordinating. The failure, the same way. We failed. This team fails. It goes back to the coaching, the coordinating, the scheme. It's all whether we win or not, because we're not relying on these players. I mean, yes, DJ dropping the ball, Juju got lit the fuck up and fumbled the ball. People fumble the ball, things happen. But for the most part, right? For the most part, when these players were winning and we had great momentum. These players were playing with authority. Sure. We couldn't have asked Chase Claypool to play any better. We couldn't have asked these players to play any better, right? That defense was playing with authority. So I don't attest this to the players. Yeah, the drop passes. Sure, the drop passes are a problem, but when it all comes down to this season, it goes back to that scheme, the coaching. They're the ones that are either going to make or break this. They're either going to turn it around for us. I don't necessarily how many times have we done this podcast over the last couple weeks, and it's been not bitching about how the players have been playing? Yes, again, the drop passes, I understand. But it's been all about that scheme. The bitching has been about that scheme. It wasn't, you didn't come on here and say, I wish that this so-and-so could play better. You came on and said, this guy can't play to his best of ability because of this reason and this reason and this reason. And it all goes back to the scheme.
We know our receivers are
good. The coaching staff, they need to step up and make a difference. They need to change it.
The entire NFL, Week 8 and Week 9, was saying, how can you stop the Steelers when they literally have talent everywhere? Take Juju away, they got DJ. Take DJ away, they got Chase Claypool.
Washington coming and making big plays.
No one got hurt. No one got COVID. We didn't lose anyone. Nothing is different at all. So you can't really blame the players. Yes, there are times there's situations where the players should have overcome things, but it's to me so blatant that the system's what's held us back this last month that if
I can't look and say, normal cases, I'd look and say, I hope Ben gets better. I hope Connor can run the ball. I hope this person can catch the ball. Yeah, some of that can be said, but we know that it all goes back. So I'm counting on right now that the coordinating on this team, the offensive coordinating, the coaching can all put something together, and we can turn this offense around and just come out with a bag of tricks, something different. And we're relying on them. Yeah. I'm relying on them. If they come out and they change that scheme up and the players fail to execute, then we're talking a different story. But if they're going to keep running that scheme, they're setting their players up for failure. Yeah. They're setting them up for failure. So, what do I know? I don't know, Dick. You know this, obviously. I don't know shit. I just talk, but I'm saying this one's on them. This one's on them.
It's so blatantly obvious. But I guess we'll see. At the Colts and the Browns.
Yeah, we'll see.
So, the only good thing is we know we're in the playoffs, but I don't know. Whatever that's worth at this point.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe.
Don't you ever talk about me!
The Killing Time Podcast with Lux and Cody.